Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Bogart on Movies, right here on WXEL TV in beautiful Palm Beach County. This week, we have 3 current films, one of which is as bad as it gets. For this week's classic pick, we'll look at the Tracy Hepburn classic, Woman of the Year, which is connected in more than one way to my mom's Tony Award-winning Broadway musical of the same name. Mom, of course, is Lauren Bacall. Also, for my real pick, we'll look at the rollicking black comedy classic, MASH. And we'll have Carla's Campy Pics and some of your emails. So let's get going. First up, a movie I was really looking forward to. It looked cool. We all saw the trailer, and it was great. But unfortunately, the movie was just all right. Here's some of the opening scene from Now You See Me.
Did you see one?
Yes.
Do you have one in mind?
Yes.
Now, do you see your card here?
No.
That's because you're looking too closely. And what have I been telling you all night? The closer you look, the less you see.
Look into my eyes and sleep and
just hang out there, wriggle a sec. I'm picturing beach, cocktails, Florida.
Look, it was a business trip.
Maybe the oldest business. You're thinking of a woman's name. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, Jean, Jane, Janet. Who's Janet? Your sister. No. You weren't away on business. You were away on Janet.
Now everyone, please pay very, very close attention, because I'm about to bend this spoon with my mind. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Pass that around. What's this? Well, what are you doing, man?
Look at this. Looks like we got a spoon and a stem.
I got other tricks.
Or you can give me my $100. You said you would.
Nice wallet.
You have a very good eye, sir.
Thanks.
Wallet. My wallet. My watch.
Okay, Los Angeles. When that timer hits 0, a tank full of piranhas will fall from above. A lady has to have handcuffs.
Pretty neat stuff, huh? The movie's about a group of magicians who are together by someone we don't know who to perform in Vegas as the Four Horsemen. Their shtick is taking money from big corporations and giving it back to the public. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. This film has some definite pluses, the main one being the acting. Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson. You gotta love Woody. I love Woody. Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Mark Ruffalo. I'm liking Ruffalo more and more. They're all good. So's Isla Fisher and Dave Franco. Fine cast. And the storyline's engaging. It really draws you in. But now the negatives. First, there was just no backstory on any of the characters. I wanted to know more about them. They were interesting, but the movie never gives you enough. And the pace, it's just too helter-skelter, jumping around from one thing to another, so much so, in fact, that it gets kind of blurry. And worse for me, the movie becomes a somewhat ordinary cops chase bad guys movie film instead of the ethereal, magic-driven film it could have been. Still, it was fun, and it was pretty entertaining. I'll give it a 3.5. The actors did their jobs. Now, viewers, we turn to the Will Smith family sci-fi vehicle, After Earth. This is a movie that's just so bad, it ranks right up there along with Battlestar Galactica as one of the worst movies ever made.
Everything on this planet has evolved to kill humans. Every single decision we make will be life or death. But if we are going to survive this, you must realize that fear is not real. misunderstand me. Danger is very real. But fear is a choice. Do you know where we are?
No, sir.
This is Earth.
Now, the macro of this movie is that the human race has had to move to a new planet after Earth, get it, had to be evacuated because of some sort of environmental disaster. The micro is that now, 1,000 years later, a father, played by Will Smith, who's a big shot in the military, and his son, played by Smith's real son, Jaden, end up on a rocket ship that crashes on, of all planets in all the world, Earth, which actually seems like not a bad place if you forget monster animals who want to kill humans. Everyone on the ship dies, except, of course, for Will and Jaden. Will's injured, so Jaden has to go out and find the right part for the spaceship so they can get back to wherever it is they're going. So it's up to poor Jaden to carry the movie, but he's so inexperienced. He's so flat. He's just not up to it. He can't. Not that anyone could.
Recognize your power. This will be your creation.
Stand down, cadet. Guitar! Control yourself, cadet. Guitar! Stand down! Get away! Get away! Guitar!
It is so bad. I have no idea if I can convey to you how bad this movie is. There's really nothing good about it. The acting's awful. As I've said, young Jaden Smith, he just isn't up to carrying a movie. Will Smith is terrible. What is that accent he's trying to do? And where's the charisma? Ugh. And the screenplay, it's just stupid. I mean, he actually outruns that troop of hungry, man-eating baboons. Really. The dialogue was just so sophomoric, it could have been written by a reasonably intelligent high school student. My favorite bad line, repeated throughout the movie, is when Jaden's in trouble, Will Smith tells him to take a knee to calm himself. Take a knee, like Tim Tebow. Are you kidding me? And the directing. M. Night Shyamalan once had a career. Remember Sixth Sense? But after this bomb, who knows? Believe me, you do not want your name attached to this one. And I won't even go into the whole Scientology undertones, or should I say overtones. The whole thing is just awful. It gets a 0. Can I give it less? So after one of the worst movies ever, and one that should have been better, I was thoroughly discouraged. So where do you go? An independent production, that's where, this time in the form of what turned out to be a wonderful surprise. The movie's based in London in 1962, at the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis. It centers on 2 teenage girls and their families, but it's mostly about Ginger and Rosa. One driven by wanting to change the world, the other by love and her burgeoning sexuality. Let's look at a bit of this movie, Ginger and Rosa.
We had a dream that we would always be best friends.
It says here that boys don't like girls who are too serious.
Interesting.
Where the hell have you been?
We were just roving about, being free.
Soviet missiles could wipe off the face of the Earth, the United States, and Great Britain.
The whole world could be blown to pieces any minute.
My darling Ginger.
Well, she's right. It is getting serious.
The only life is the one we have now, which is why we must seize it and live.
Bye, Ginger's dad.
It's Roland, actually.
Nuclear weapons threaten our very existence. We must stop this madness.
I think Rosa's a bad influence.
Who do you think you are? Don't you care about the future anymore?
Who do you think you are? Not everyone can save the whole world. Some of us have to concentrate on just one person.
Ginger may be grown up enough to try to save us all from nuclear catastrophe, but she's also young enough to still need some looking after.
Say it. I'll explode if I say it.
What is it you can't say, Ginger?
People, you will really enjoy this movie. Here, the acting's the thing, and the actors. Elle Fanning, yep, she's Dakota's younger sister. More about her later. First-timer Alice Englert, Alessandro Nivola, a dressed-down but still gorgeous Christina Hendricks, Jodie May, the so talented but so underused Timothy Spall, Oliver Platt, Annette Bening. Don't you just love Annette Bening? They're all just so good, but it's the fantastic, really terrific performance of Elle Fanning that brings this movie to the next level.
It says here that a girl's most important possession is a bubbly personality.
Interesting. Do you think Simone de Beauvoir has a bubbly personality?
Who?
That French writer. She's an existentialist.
Maybe she hasn't read Girl. It says here that boys don't like girls who are too serious.
Oh. Well, even so. Did I tell you I've decided to be a poet?
Thought you were already. Do you think they're shrunk enough yet?
This girl is so winning, so engaging, she'll actually make you smile. A truly remarkable talent. Oh, and she was 13 years old when she made the movie. 13. You think she has a future? True, I would have liked to have seen more of Bening and Platt, and the story does get somewhat melodramatic. But director Sally Potter does a wonderful job of taking what could have been a sappy movie and ending up with an intelligent film about friendship, growing up, and family. It's not perfect, but Fanning is so good it doesn't matter. I give it a 4 out of 5. Go see it. You won't be disappointed. I'll be back in a moment with a look at a classic on Bogart on Movies.
It's an exciting time, but it's just the beginning.
I can do this. I can do anything.
This summer, PBS is the place for mystery.
An English woman has disappeared from the train.
I'm a good detective.
A single drop can kill a man within seconds.
For discovery.
The relics appear to be those of the Buddha himself.
And for celebration.
You are a party crowd, aren't you?
All year long, support the one place that can take you any place.
Now for my classic movie pick, we go all the way back to 1942, and a romantic comedy that features the first pairing of two major stars from Hollywood's golden age. Spencer Tracy as Sam Craig, the sports writer, and Katharine Hepburn as Tess Harding, the emancipated woman who was named Woman of the Year. Here's part of the trailer, as it was 71 years ago.
Now to get lined up for the first inning. The Senators, Washington will bat first, see, and after they've made 3 outs, then the Yanks will come to bat.
I see. And then they've got to make the same number of outs.
That's right.
She may have been the Woman of the Year, but she didn't win it with her cooking. He preferred the club to the double talk of her hi-hat friends.
Look, we're all concerned with what we choose to call a threat to our American way of life. Baseball games and the things they represent are part of that way of life. What's the sense of abolishing what you're out to protect? It's a beautiful thought, Sammy.
Something intimate between husband and wife.
What would you think about having a child?
Yes.
guess, is that what all this buildup has been for? Did you think I'd have to be sold on the idea?
Well, I wasn't quite sure. I thought perhaps I'd better get you into the right frame of mind.
Get me into the... Me? Well, the sooner the better.
It's already been done.
You saw William Bendix from The Life of Riley? Look, this is a wonderful film with two of the most nominated actors to ever grace the silver screen. Tracy, 9 nominations and 2 wins, and Kate, 12 nominations and 4 wins. That is some major cred. It's just so exciting to watch these two together in this wonderful film. This was the first of 9 movies together for Tracy and Hepburn. These two brilliant actors actually met on this set and fell in love on this set.
Hope we haven't ruined your day.
Oh, no, not at all, not at all. After all, it kept me off the streets and out of the pool rooms.
What's the matter, sir?
Nothing.
Sure.
Well, I don't know. I can't quite figure you out. Well, what are you trying to prove? Why am I here?
Well, Sam, I
After all, you know, little Normo could have driven you down here. Why did you ask me?
thought you might want to kiss me goodbye.
They're holding the plane for us.
Goodbye, Gerald. See you Monday.
What time?
Send you a wire?
Yeah. But you do it. Don't have the little corporal do it.
Now my mother, Lauren Bacall, I knew that, of course would have the same falling in love on the set experience with my father 2 years later, putting her lips together into Have and Have Not. Personally, my parents and Kate and Spence were the closest of friends. I remember going to their house once in Los Angeles around 1956, and to this day, all I can picture is a dark, scary old castle. I don't know whether I remember it right or if that's just how it seemed to a 7-year-old boy. After Spencer and my father's death, my mom and I saw Kate in her New York walk-up and had a few dinners at Kate's house, cooked by Kate's longtime assistant, Phyllis. Kate was actually my stepbrother Sam Robards' godmother, and sadly, I would become the last one to interview her for my book, In Search of My Father, in 1995. And in a strange coincidence, whereas Kate was nominated for Academy Award for this film and didn't win, years later, my mother would play the same test part in the Broadway musical Woman of the Year and would win her 2nd Tony Award for Best Actress, The Circle of Life. Directed by George Stevens and written by Ring Lardner Jr. and Mike Kanan, who both won the Oscar, and produced by the legendary Joseph L. Mankiewicz, it's a fun movie from a long time past, one we can still enjoy. Now it's time to click open the Bogart on Movies mailbox and see what you guys wrote this week. Ellis in Pahokee asks, please name your favorite 3 sports-themed movies, and what about them made you like them so much? Only 3? I like so many sports movies, I don't know if I can pick only 3. I'm going to take out the obvious ones like The Hustler, Raging Bull, and Rocky, because they were a cut above, and just going on the ones I like the most. So, ta-da! 1 is Caddyshack, only one of the funniest movies ever made. Then I love Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise delivering one of the most memorable lines in film history. Show me the money! And even though I'm not a horse racing guy, I just loved Seabiscuit, a classic underdog tale and just a great movie. Now I know there's a lot I left out that I really like. Bad News Bears, Major League with Charlie Sheen, Field of Dreams, White Men Can't Jump, Slapshot, Paul Newman, and a lot more. But you said only 3, so there they are. Now we're going to turn to Tony in Coconut Creek, and he wants to know, with movies being made just for HBO or Starz or Showtime or online services like Netflix and others, do you think the big screen experience at 10 or 12 bucks a ticket and $4 or $5 popcorn can survive? $4 or $5 popcorn? How about $5 water? Yeah, the food's ridiculously expensive, but going to a movie is a night out. And at 13 bucks a pop for 2 hours plus previews, it's well worth it. And the box office numbers this year prove it. Look it up. People love to go to the movies. I do think there will be fewer blockbusters since they cost so much to make, and prices for those movies may go up. And more movies will probably be released on cable and online, but there's really nothing like seeing a movie on the big screen. Movies are the true American art form, and that experience isn't going away anytime soon. You can email me, send me your comments and questions to stevebogart@wxel.org, and include your name and your hometown. In 1972, the B-movie horror flick about angry rabbits, that's right, angry rabbits, Night of the Lepus, bounced onto movie screens across the country. The movie starred, besides the rabbits, Stuart Whitman, a pretty good actor, and Janet Leigh. That's right, Janet Leigh. 12 years after she was the memorable shower scene victim in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, Janet Leigh took the money and ran, or hopped, into Lepus.
What happened that night science made its greatest mistake? What unknown terror was born that night? What is the terrifying mutant that strikes from behind the shroud of night? That night of the Lepus. A night of total terror, more shattering than your strangest nightmare. What caused the unnatural death, destruction, and panic that night of the Lepus? Janet Leigh, Stuart Whitman, Rory Calhoun, and Paul Pics. Night of the Lepus. Kill one, and thousands take their place. What devil creatures growing in weight and size every day are hidden behind the eyes of horror? What can stop them? Night of the Lepus. From MGM.
Now it's time for my real hit, and we're going to look at the comedy satire that spawned one of the most critically acclaimed television series of our time. It's set in a medical field hospital during the Korean War, but really it's about Vietnam. The movie's MASH.
A United States Army field hospital somewhere near the front lines.
Check this place out. See what the nurses are like.
That one, the sultry with the fire in her eyes.
Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war.
Who are those men? Friends of yours, Mr.
I think you will find these accommodating. They're quite dry.
Don't you use olives?
We do have to make certain concessions to the war. We're 3 miles from the front line.
This is the story of two indispensable military surgeons. They had the Army over a barrel. But did they take advantage of it? Yes.
What are you two hoodlums doing in this hospital?
Well, what's the matter with her today?
Look, Mother, I want to go to work in 1 hour. We are the pros from Dover.
Somebody get that dirty old man out of this operating theater.
And then give me at least one nurse who knows how to work in close without getting her in my way.
I wonder how a degenerated person like that could have reached a position of responsibility in the Army Medical Corps.
He was drafted.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
His will be done.
Oh, Fred, my lips are hot. Oh, kiss my hot lips.
We have got to share this with the rest of us.
Fred. Oh.
What the hell is that?
Oh. This isn't a hospital. It's an insane asylum. My God, they've shot him!
Hot Lips, you incredible nincompoop. It's the end of the quarter.
This wonderful film had everything. A dynamite cast including Donald Sutherland, Elliot Gould, Tom Skerritt, Sally Kellerman as Hot Lips Houlihan, even Robert Duvall. And it had a great director, Robert Altman, who, by the way, also directed my mom, Lauren Bacall, in Health. I was on the set for that one, shot right here in Florida. And an Oscar-winning screenplay by Ring Lardner Jr., who, as I mentioned, also won for this week's classic film, Woman of the Year. It was witty, funny, black comedy at its finest. So enjoy this one, as I'm sure you will.